welcome this month's RC race, and it's so chock-a-block with stuff I've no time to tell you what it is. But here, with the first semi-final for the Neo 09, it's your race commentator, John Hindhoff.
Pole position for the second Nitro semi-final has gone to the Frenchman Yannick Algon with the Losi. Similar buggy alongside him, that's the Italian Riccardo Rabitti. Then it's Spain, Portugal, Germany. Neil Cragg, the best of the Brits, ahead of Daniel Vega-Fraze on the Mugen. In the second half of the grid, there's drivers from the USA, Spain, a couple of Frenchmen, a Swede and a couple of more Brits. The buggies go on the ground, the tension rises. Wait for the hooter, there it is, and Algon, the Frenchman, gets away. Problem for the second place man, Riccardo Rabitti. He's been bumped down to what, fourth position. He'll be disappointed with that. Exactly what he didn't need at the start. That's left Roberto Bataille going through into second position. So Algon from Bataille over the jumps. Rabitti's back up into third position. He's fought his way there. All kinds of carnage going on behind. But the leaders at the moment, Algon, the Frenchman, Bataille from Spain, Rabitti, the Italian, in third. Challenge for the lead there just for a moment, but repelled. Algon must be mindful that he needs a decent time, makes a bit of a mistake but gets away with it. But not this time, just bounced off the inner wall, and there's a new leader. Bataille, the Spaniard. Rabitti looking racy as well in third position. Great camera, that one. That shows you just how much hype these buggies are getting. You can control them by throttling on and off. Control the position of the buggy in the air so you land flat. Great battle is going on for fourth, but we can't take our eyes off the leader at the moment. Remember, the time is important. Top 14 from the 28 in the semi-finals will go through regardless of position. So the last thing you really want to be doing is battling if you're down at the bottom of the top 6 or 7. You want a clean run. These leaders, now this is much more sensible than we saw in the first semi-final when the leaders kept crashing into each other and costing each other time. Oh, the leader's gone! And the second place gone! And the third place gone! That is quite remarkable. At the same point on the circuit, they've all gone over. Let's have a look. There's the leader first of all, Algon, then Rabitti, and then getting caught up in it right at the end. The poor Marshal doesn't know where to look, where to go. About going left. Oh, there's one left. I better put it back on its wheels. Got a feel for Riccardo Rabitti there. He was in third place. He's dropped back now. That's allowed Neil Cragg to nip through. I think we need to just take a breath and take stock here. Bataille, the Spaniard, is leading. There he is in the mostly red buggy, just disappearing round that left-hander. Now, here's the scrap for second position. It's Algon, Cragg, and then Rabitti, I think. Yes, that is Rabitti. He has recovered to fourth position and looking to improve on that. Remind you again, it's not about where you finish, it's about the elapsed time. So scrapping with other people, not sensible unless you think you can get through cleanly and disappear. And there is the battle for second, and oh dear, Algon's gone, and he's taken Rabitti with him again. Oh dear me. Riccardo Rabitti has had no look at all, and briefly going up to third, but then making a mistake himself. That, I think, was Jerome Algon. It was. So his brother's accident played into his hands, but he didn't take the opportunity. Well, it's all action again, and once again, I've got to say, this is costing everybody time. They know what they've got to do. They've seen the first semi-final. It's the top 14 in time. Nobody qualifies as of right. And there's rather too much racing going on here. And it's not actually often I say that. Now, let's have a look, see what we're watching here. Oh, that's Algon, that's Yannick Algon having another problem. It was his brother Jerome behind him. So once again, the two brothers conspire to give each other a place. Now, I think it was Jorn Newman as well, the German we were watching briefly. That is Bataille and Craig battling for first position as we come to the first of the pit stops. Now, Bataille's come in and Craig stayed out there. Craig stayed out. That's a good stop though by the leader. For a lap at least, he's given up the lead. Now he needs a good, clean outlap lap. Conversely, of course, Neil Cragg on the Associated needs a good clean in lap. He does not want to be caught up with any traffic. And as we come round this time, let's see if Cragg has decided to come in. Oh, that's exactly what Cragg wants. Oh, he's all over the place there. That's Bataille, the Spaniard, losing time. Let's have another look from another angle. Clips those side bumpers, and that's a multiple roll. Then he kind of doesn't know where he's facing. He's got to rejoin the track where he left it, and that's cost him a huge amount of time. And still more problems. Anxious now, he's gone tight on the sticks, and as we come past the pits, I think you're going to find that Neil Cragg has been in and out. There was no sign of him there. Well, there are some drivers in the world of motorsports who are absolutely outstanding in and out of the pits, and races are won and lost all the way up to Formula One, and I'm afraid that Bataille has messed up there when he had an opportunity, and in fact he's coming under pressure for what is now, of course, second place by a recovering Yannick Algon. There's the leader though, that's Neil Cragg. Took his opportunity. We didn't see him in the pits because he was in and out so quickly. Scorching in lap. Now here's the battle for second, third and fourth now, with Bataille, Yannick Algon, and behind him, oh, there's a spin, and there's a spin again. Another mistake by the Spaniard Bataille. He really isn't on top form, is he? He'll be cursing his luck here. It's costing him time. We should mention that Neil Cragg is away, and in fact he's already started the next lap, and in fact these guys are not going to get this next lap credit. The buzzer's already gone, so effectively now their race is over. Neil Cragg will be the only person on the lead lap as he completes. Their race is over. It hasn't stopped them running into each other. If there was a pace car out there, they'd be running into that as well. Now there is the man who is going to get the victory. It's the Brit, Neil Cragg on the Associated, and he has dominated this race. So here's the results then. We've finally sorted out that Neil Cragg is the winner. Rabiti from Bataille, Algon, Yannick that is, Richard Saxton up into 5th position ahead of Richie Gomez and Jerome Algon in 7th position. Now that's as maybe, because we have to do the workings out, put the times together with the first semi-final, and we'll find out how that pans out for the final a little later on in the programme.
You know, it's not just about having the most power. It's also about proven engineering heritage. But you take all this power, channel it in the right way. Now that's really something.
And now, with all the action from the A final at the Neo 09, once again, it's John Hindhaugh.
Well, there is Atsushi Hara's car on the grids. There is the man himself, and he is one of 7 drivers from the first semi-final who have made it through to the final. It's an exact split between the 2 semis. Remember, it was done on time, and there's the man with the fastest time of all, Jared Thibault. Darren Bloomfield in 2nd, Martin Bayer in 3rd position. 4th, Ryan Lutz, another one of the Americans with the Tamiya. In 5th, Lee Martin. All of the top 5 are from the first semi-final. Neil Cragg, the first of the second semi-finals. He won it, remember. in 6th position. 7th, Atsushi Hara. Then Ryan Mayfield. He's the last of the qualifiers from the first semi-final. So from here on in, it's all from semi 2. That's Rabiti in 9th. Then Bataille in 10th. Yannick Algon in position number 11. 12 should be Richard Saxton, but I thought I didn't see a car there. I'm sure he'll be there by the time the hooter goes off. 13, Richie Gomez, and at the back, Jerome Agon. That's your 14 for the final. So the buggies go down onto the track. Oh, Blumfield goes forward, and I think his helper was worried he was going to get his fingers cut off by the samurai sword there, but he's made a decent start, and Thibault's away in the lead. Blumfield in 2nd, Martin Beer in 3rd, as you were from the grid. And Beer makes a mistake and takes out Ryan Lutz there in the mix. That's allowed the leading pair to open up quite a big lead. Lee Martin, I think, is now in 3rd position. See if we can check that as they come through. There's no doubt about the leader, though. Jared Thibault with the Kyosho. Bloomfield in 2nd, trying to apply pressure. All kinds of carnage going on the infield. Neil Cragg, I think, coming through there as well. I think I saw the dark buggy of Neil Cragg, number 6, the 2nd semi-final winner. Just to tell you, the first semi-final was 21 seconds quicker than the 2nd. Neil Cragg, the best of the 2nd semi-final qualifiers, and he was down in 6th position. But this is the battle at the moment, at the head of the field. Thibault and Bloomfield. The United States versus the UK. Proper old-fashioned transatlantic challenge, if you like. But at the moment, the pendulum has swung in the favour of the USA. With Jared Thibault. That's a handy lead, isn't it? It'll be a while before he starts catching any traffic. There will be a pit stop, of course, and that may yet decide things. We've seen earlier on in the meeting how important it is to get that pit stop right. Now there's the battle for 3rd, and that's Lee Martin in the red car. The darker car behind him is Neil Cragg. This is for the final podium position. They aren't gaining on the leaders, though, are they? Oh, and there's a little mistake there by Martin. Cragg tried to get round the outside, couldn't get it done. But the pressure is on. Slightly different line there by Neil in 4th place. Across the start line, Martin and Cragg. Interesting to see just who's got the advantage here, which parts of this track different drivers prefer, and where they've set the buggy up. Very important to feel comfortable. There's always going to be a compromise. You can see here there's some fast bits, there's some big air, but also getting the setup right. Oh, and a problem for Cragg in the background. Cragg has just gone off there, and that's cost himself some time. I think that's Bataille, who was also making a little mistake. He didn't have a clean run in the first heat either. And now we've picked up the world champion, the hot bodies of Atsushi Hara. He qualified in 7th position here. And he's battling in the bottom part of the top 10. I think Lutz was in there as well. Now here's the leader, just going by, I think that was Yannick Agon who's just come out of the pit. So we're in the pit stop window. Thibault leads still from Bloomfield in 2nd position. And look, that battle is getting much closer. Bloomfield taking his chances to close in. And there's a problem for one of the leaders. It's Bloomfield in 2nd place who's made the mistake. He was turned over very quickly by the marshal and has got going again. However, that has, look at the lead. Look how much the lead's extended there. So Thibault now. Thibault just has to, well, I was about to say, just has to keep it sensible. But we've seen this before, that Jared Thibault out in the lead sometimes just can't quite pace himself when he's got no one to race against. And clearly Darren Bloomfield has got a very quick setup on his car. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him fighting back towards that rear wing. Yes, indeed. Now, that was a huge gap, only a lap or so ago after the mistake by Bloomfield. And the leader's in the pits. The leader is in the pit lane. This is crucial time. That's not bad. He's set off. He's, I think, given up the lead, though. Bloomfield's gone through. Yes, he has. Just got a little flash of him there. So it's absolutely crucial to have that clear lap on his outlap by Tibu. And Bloomfield conversely, he's got to really get the hammer down. He's seen the leader come into the pits and he knows what he's got to do. He's got an opportunity here to make up some ground. I don't think he's got enough lead to get in and out without giving that lead back. But back markers, and he's done that very well indeed. He's peeling off this time. Is he to the right? Yes, he is. Oh, he's slipped wide there and given up the lead. So that's a disaster because he's now in second place and he's still got a pit stop to do. That was the pressure from Yared Tibu. Tibu's gone through. And Bloomfield now has a tactical dilemma. Does he stay out there and try to put in some quick laps, maybe even get back ahead? Or does he pit now and then use the rest of the race to his advantage? He's got to be thinking of that whilst he's driving at the same time. All of these drivers and teams will have talked about which lap window they're coming. He's in the pits! Bloomfield's in the pits. It's not a particularly good entry. Goodness me! He flies into the pits. He's lost a bit of time there. It looked spectacular. And he's actually airborne on the off-ramp as well. But not the cleanest of entry and exit to the pits. And that's left Yared Tibu with a comfortable lead. Consolidated that gap. And there is Atsushi Hara making his way through the field. Somehow I think this is not going to be his weekend, but good to see the world champion has turned out for an event like this, and certainly there'll be plenty of stories to tell about the day that the world champion came down and raced here at Telford. And Hara's got a bit of a battle on his hands here, just outside the podium positions. It's Robert Bataille who's with him. Bright orange wheel discs, yellow wheel discs rather, on Bataille's Buggy. And what a feather in his cap it would be if he could get by the world champion, who's made a mistake, but recovers before. I think Bataille had a little off there as well, just out of our sight. Let's look a little bit further forward to the battle for the final podium position. At the moment held by Ryan Lutz. There he is, the number 4 car. Neil Cragg is right in behind him, trying to get alongside, airborne. Oh, and that's Lutz has gone over and Cragg's gone wide. They don't actually change positions. So it is still the 4 Buggy in third position. And that's Gomez just out of the pits, and he's taken out the 4th place man. He's taken out Neil Cragg. And I'm pretty sure Gomez was a lap down there. Shouldn't really have been getting involved. Cragg will not be happy. Not happy at all. Now back at the front of the field, it's hotting up again. We haven't seen Yared Tibu and Darren Bloomfield for a little while, but trust me, they haven't been too far apart all the time we've been away. So there's been real pressure for both men. And as you can see ahead of them, there's traffic. Always difficult for the leader. You're the first man into that. And Bloomfield doing exactly the right thing and closing up, hoping to capitalise on any small mistake that's made by the leader, who somehow holds on to the tail end of that Kyosho Buggy on the infield. There's some kind of action ahead. I saw one of the marshals moving, but the track is clear again. Tense times for Yared Tibu, the American. He's just edged out a little more of a lead. Can he hold on to it? Pit stops going on around them as well. They can't afford to be distracted by that. Concentration is all, and I'm afraid Darren Bloomfield on the Lucy has just lost his rhythm for a moment. Allowed the leader, Yared Tibu, to get away. But it's still not by any means a lead that will make Yared Tibu settle. Not when there's traffic ahead. Not when there's traffic ahead that are having their own battles as well, of course. And as we've seen, there's pit stops to come. And here is the leader making his next pit stop. That looks neat. The fuel goes in. Keep it together on the exit of the pits. We've seen people make mistakes. So again, on the pit stop rotation, Darren Bloomfield is leading. He didn't take his opportunity last time, fluffed his entry to the pits and made a very, very untidy pit stop. He can't afford that this time if he is going to challenge for the lead. He's made a mistake. Exactly what he didn't need to do. The pressure is told again. Goodness me. Both times he's had it in his own hands and both times he's let it slip through his fingers. And that's great news for Thibaut, who is right with him here. But Thibaut's already done his fuel stop. And this is great news. It will be such a fill-up for the American, who will know that he can just cruise around behind. And another mistake by the number 2 Buggy of Darren Bloomfield. He's getting caught up in everything at the moment. And he will be cursing himself. No one else to blame but the man on the sticks. And Bloomfield will know he hasn't done himself justice in this race. Thibaut pulls away and this could be decisive. Here is Jared Thibaut, the leader. It's the last lap. And he has been not only the fastest and most consistent, but also I think the coolest customer here this afternoon. Made it count when he needed to. Good pit stops. And he will come through and take a very deserving win in a very good field that includes the world champion. Thibaut wins it. So it's congratulations to Jared Thibaut winning for the USA ahead of Darren Bloomfield from the UK, who had his chances, may well just be cursing his luck on those pit stops. Ryan Lutz won the battle for the final podium position, and behind him Rabiti, and then Yannick was the best of the Algon brothers. Well, Nick is down in the Parc Fermé area with a very cool Jared Thibaut, our winner.
Yeah, Thibaut, congratulations. A hard-fought 45 minutes, certainly the first 10 or 15 where you were battling with Darren tooth and nail.
Yeah, it was a long race, man, and it just kept dragging on, and Darren drove awesome, you know, it was fun. I've never really got to battle with him before, so that was really cool, and just was trying to just relax and stay calm. I knew I had to pit one more time, so I wanted to try to get a good lead so I could stay in front in their pit stop, and they'd have to try to catch me the whole time, so.
Yeah, explain the fuel strategy, because you were running sort of 7.5 minutes, he was running 10. Is it because this sort of pit lane's very short, you haven't got the normal disadvantage in a fuel stop?
No, I can't make 10 minutes. If I could, I would definitely do it, but when you get it that lean, I don't like the way it feels, and I crash a lot more, so I figured, you know, if I can just pit at 7.5, crash a little bit less, then it works out better in the end.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this show, and indeed on this series, apart from our fantastic best of episodes, where you get to see all the top action from the series. The first one's next month, the second one's a month after. Look out for them on Motors TV and the interweb.
Poor Marshall doesn't know where to look, where to go. I'm about to go and oh, there's one left. I better put it back on its wheels.